Hello, all of you Regs and all of you Shinies. Welcome back to the 1313 podcast. This is the podcast, the most mediocre podcast in the Star Wars universe. I'm Jackson, and today I am joined with Calais, who is a CO and LMO for the Pacific Outpost 501st Garrison. Now, before we get into the episode, everybody, please make sure that if you are not already, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube. We also are posting content on TikTok. And if you want to talk to some amazing Star Wars people, make sure to join our Discord. But Clay, thank you so much for being on the show today. We really do appreciate that. Now, for the people out there, who are you and what do you do for the Pacific Outpost?
Hello, everybody. I'm Calais. I'm the CO for the Pacific Outpost. Yep, we're not a garrison yet, but maybe one day it'll happen. Maybe. And yes, I am also an LMO. That's a Legion membership officer. I'm one of, I think, 8 people. A panel of, the panel of LMOs. Yeah.
Nice. And we are also very excited to have Clay on for this episode this week, just because by the time this drops this upcoming weekend, if you are in the area of Hawaii, there is Honolulu Comic-Con going on. So if you are in the area, the 501st Pacific Outpost will be there. So we're very excited to have them there. And from my understanding, at least, our 501st Outpost does a whole lot of other stuff. Truthfully, I actually didn't know there was a difference between a garrison and an outpost. I'm way too new to the Legion to know that. But is it just because of our size that we're an outpost versus a garrison?
Yeah, so in the 501st, there's a whole bunch of different units that are regional. So the Pacific Outpost our region is within the islands of the Pacific. So our territory actually covers Guam and Tahiti, along with Hawaii. But most of our members are all in one of the islands in Hawaii, and our outpost is it's about 45 members, and for an outpost to upgrade to garrison, you need a minimum of 25 members in the unit. So we can actually go up to garrison if we wanted to, but we're out in the middle of the Pacific. It makes sense. Let's just stay an outpost.
Yeah. No, I feel like that's totally fair too. And it makes it more like fun to be like an outpost rather than established like garrison for what the area is. But so as I mentioned before, Calais is the CO of the Pacific Outpost. Now, we have talked about the 501st Legion a whole lot on the show before. I do have on my description tag today my number because our viewers would know that I do a 5s costume. But for maybe audience members who might not be too familiar with the 501st and what they do, could you kind of break us down like what like happens or how do you even go about that?
So the 501st is the largest fan organization or fan costuming organization in the world. It's got members in I think 62 countries and over 14,000 members as the whole. And the Pacific Outpost is just a small part of that. But we all cosplay as Star Wars characters, the bad guys, quote unquote, which is why our tagline is "Bad Guys Doing Good," because we do a whole lot of charities. We work with Starlight Foundation, Make-A-Wish Foundation, and all those wonderful charities.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, because I know at least in the place that I just came from, a Starkiller Garrison in Pennsylvania, on the left side of Pennsylvania, just because it was so big, it had to split into 2 groups. But their biggest thing every year was the Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh. So that was kind of another thing why I kind of wanted to get into it, was to really like just do events that like helped and like benefited people too. Because I thought that was more fun to take the nerdy hobby that I really like and like do something good with it too. But I know you do have an ID in your name right there for ID 51755. Which suit is that for?
Yeah, 51575. That is my Legion membership number. So every member has their own number, and you can look it up on our website, 501st.com. And yeah, so mine was just randomly selected, and every
Mm.
member who joins gets their own membership number, and it's unique to you, and you'll take it with you until you're no longer with us.
No, fair. But one of the other things that I really did have to mention, just because again, the viewers know that I do a fives costume. What costume or costumes do you have or have had in the past?
So I first got approved with in ISB version 3. It's now called the non-saga ISB officer. So that's the white tunic, black trousers, and black hat, similar to the ISB agents in Andor, but mine's is from
Okay.
Rogue One. Yeah, and that was
Hmm.
my first costume. My second costume I got approved was my AT-ACT driver, also from Rogue One, and it's a blink and you miss it scene, but they're the ones driving the big AT-ATs, which are actually called AT-ACTs. Don't ask me what
Oh,
that
that is
acronym
right.
means. I forgot. And then my third costume was a line officer. That's the olive drab um, officers from Empire Strikes Back. They're the ones commanding the Star Destroyer, and I got approved with an admiral rank.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, and my costumes in progress are um, a shore trooper,
Ooh.
a Grand Admiral Thrawn from Andor, and
Oh,
yeah, that one the serial is not even out yet.
from Andor.
Oh, no, not from Andor, from Ahsoka. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Because I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
did you just leak Andor season 2 for me right now? That would have been crazy. But
That would be cool to see Thrawn in Andor. But yeah, and then I'm also working on a Django Fett. That one is my grail.
that would be absolutely amazing. I'm a huge Jango Fett fan. Jango was like my character. Like ever since I was little, I was like, that guy is like the coolest person in Star Wars. So like I freak out whenever I see Jango suits for
Oh yeah,
sure.
yeah. Same
Well,
here, same here. Because as a as a Polynesian, little Polynesian kid with brown skin, fat Polynesian nose. Yeah, seeing somebody on in Star Wars that looks like me, that yeah, that stayed with me for a long time. So yeah, Django
heck
Fett's,
yeah.
yeah, that was my definitely my grail. I'm almost there. I'm just waiting for my armor and my jumpsuit and a
Heck
jetpack.
yeah. Oh, yeah. The only jetpack I have that I could maybe provide is like the Halloween like blow up one that like you
Okay.
put the air into and it inflates. I've had that since first grade and it's still sitting in my closet in Pennsylvania at my parents' house. So
Oh wow.
I definitely will say kind of a culture shock, just because again, how fresh I am to the Legion and the group itself, is that how many costumes some people here have. Like from my home garrison, people had like one or two at most. But I mean, the first person who had that on the island was Noah, and him already told me he had like 4 or 5 different suits, and then doing all these different meetups that that the group does, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, like what's your next suit that you're working on?" I'm like, I'm still modifying the first. What do you mean the second? But
Yeah, we 501st. We never stop at one. I don't think there's a single member that only has one costume.
see, I just have to get on that train. And I was like this close to being able to get the camo Kashyyyk trooper from Revenge of the Sith because someone on the clone trooper forums just like threw it up for like a few $100s. And I was like, oh, I have to get it. But someone like beat me right to it. I was like, you know what? Maybe that's a sign. I should wait. But I feel like if I had to do any other suit, I would do like a grunt character rather than like a named character kind of a thing.
Like a short trooper grunt.
See, you and Noah are trying to get me on doing these shore troopers now, and they look cool. I'm not gonna say they don't. The design is sweet. It's super dope. But what kind of got me too is that when I was also really little, I really liked the design for the AT-AT like pilots. I thought those were pretty sick. But are
Mhm.
there actually differences between the Revenge, not the Revenge of the Sith? Oh my gosh, fake Star Wars fan. Empire Strikes Back versus the Rogue One versions that we see for a brief second.
Oh yeah, so the Rogue One versions, they actually have a different suit. The jumpsuit
Oh,
is more like a shiny nylon, while in the original trilogy they were all cloth jumpsuits. Yeah.
gotcha. See,
And oh yeah,
we're
and the
learning.
patch is different too. The patch is embroidered in The Empire Strikes Back, but in Rogue One they're actually like a PVC rubber patch. Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I think it's to compensate for the 4K era of cinema where you can see every single little detail and thread.
Yeah, see, and that makes sense too, at least why they would switch it. But
Yeah, it's so much harder to hide the mistakes.
oh yeah, especially with now seeing like live action clones versus the CG now, how like they have to modify for like human use because now it's something tangible that we can see, so it has to be practical in every way too.
Hmm.
But
Yep, yep. In
yeah,
the
no, no.
on the Hot Toys figures that I have behind me, you can actually kind of see the difference. The helmet, the hole underneath the helmet is actually too
Mhm.
small to fit a head in, which is why um, some makers they have pieces of it connected through magnets, so you can pull it apart, put your head in, and then close it up.
Mhm. Yeah, my mentor, had a Commander Black costume, and his had, like, the back of the helmet would come off. You'd have to magnet like that to get it on. But
Yeah.
I was also not gonna let you keep going this entire episode without mentioning that very, very beautiful Hot Toys display that I can see behind you.
It keeps going. It's all the way over here.
Oh, here, I'll see if I can, uh, oh, if my device settings will work. The most mediocre podcast for a
I have
reason. Nope, don't
I have
enlarge me, enlarge him.
have
No.
quite a few back there.
Yeah, is Hot Toys something that you've collected for a long time, or
I think maybe a couple years. The the first one I got was Django Fett, of course. But I was telling myself I was just
oh,
gonna stop there.
same. That was my first. That's good.
Yeah, that was my first one, and I just told myself I'm just gonna get Django Fett. That's it. I'm just gonna get Django, and I'll be happy. And then I saw the Rex, and I was like, oh, the Rex is pretty cool. It's also Tamura Morrison, right? Yeah, okay, I'll get Rex. And then, you
Yeah.
know what? Ahsoka looks good with Rex too. So yeah, one and two turned into 20.
See, yeah, that's the unfortunate rabbit hole that I have with the Black Series. I collect a lot of those, but the Hot Toys bug has definitely bit me. I have the Django was the first one I bought, and then my brother got me Hunter from the Bad Batch,
Oh,
and then my dad got me Captain Vaughn for just like a gift. And I did pre-order the new fives that they have because I
nice.
as much as obviously like it's different from the original one they did, I think it looks great. I think every change that they did was perfectly well thought through and it just looks cool like all around.
Yeah, that fives is really cool, and it'll look really great with the rest of my 501st clones over there. I also have Vaughn, but
Oh, that's
yeah,
nice.
that Hunter, man, I I would like to get the the Bad Batch, but you can't just get one. You gotta get them all.
I know. See, that was my
Yeah,
issue is I had Hunter and I was looking online at the rest of the batch and I was like, like it would be nice to have the rest of it. But then Crosser and Tech were out of stock for the longest time. And now they just keep coming in and out as they make more, I
yeah.
guess. But I have some buddies that have like really, really hunted Hot Toys just to get the no, they got the entire set, but who didn't they didn't get Echo because they didn't consider Echo like a real like Bad Batch like OG member, which I can understand.
Oh, that's not nice. Echo's a part of the team too, you know.
I know Echo is cool, but
Yeah.
for the re-release that they did for Fives and Echo, I was actually super
Oh
shocked
yeah,
that it was
the
like
Art
an
Trooper
exact
Echo.
mock, yeah, of when they did
Yeah,
it in 2011 or 12 with those two. So I was like, oh my gosh.
yeah. This hobby's dangerous, man.
It's so dangerous. Collecting itself for Star Wars is just eternally dangerous because they'll always have something cool coming out. It doesn't matter what you collect, if it's Hot Toys or Black Series, the TVC, like something cool will always come out, and you'll just be standing in a Target or a Walmart eyeing it up like, can I really let that pass today?
Yeah, and, like every time I'm in a Target, I'm always beelining into the Star Wars aisle just to see what they have.
So yeah, we have really funny stories, and we've even shot vlogs of it too, where we stand in front of the Target at 2 hours before open, just so we can. Nobody else in our hometown was doing that but us anyway. But we just did it to make a point, so that if people like ever came in, they're like, "Oh, these guys are always going to be here," kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only time that got really serious though was for the do you collect any of the Black Series at all, or?
I do actually. The shelf that my Hot Toys is on now used to have my Black Series collection. They are all in
Oh,
crates now. Yeah,
nice. Do you
multiple
remember when
crates.
they did the oh, God. Uh they did the oh my gosh, it was the Target exclusive like Clone Wars like original 2008 like back for the figures, and our Target had got them in store like a week before. So we were going every day to make sure they still had them in stock, but somebody out the back was like selling them because every time we would come the number would slowly like deplete, and we were like, can you just sell it to us because you guys are clearly selling it? And they're like, well, no, it's street dated. And I was like, please, please. But it got to the point where I know, because I don't know the conversion here yet, but at 3 and 4 a.m., Target will launch items that are launching that day on the app and the website to purchase and then pick up in store. So the only one that was available to pick up in store was a single Anakin. And so I got the Anakin, but I bought everything else just online to ship like in the next few days. And I was standing in front of Target with my brother, and we waited for those 2 long hours. The doors were about to finally open, and there was a few other people behind us. An associate walks to the front and is like, I'm assuming you're all here for this. And it is a single Anakin that they had in the store. And I was like, that's the one I online
Wow.
pickup ordered. And here's my phone for that too. And he's like, well, I guess I have to give it to you then. And I was like, yeah. But that was that was the roughest it's ever been. But ever since that, like there wasn't like an issue with like a lot of employees like selling or taking stuff out the back.
Mm, yeah, I never waited, or I never did that for a figure, and that's kind of why I don't like the exclusives, because they're just a little too exclusive, and
Hmm.
sometimes they don't even ship to Hawaii, so that's even more rough.
Yes, that was killing me too because I'm still hunting for a Master Soul from the Acolyte. And when I was originally looking for stuff, it was like people at the GameStops and whatnot were telling me like Hawaii wasn't supposed to get it for like another month after it dropped. And I was like, bro, like being here compared to I mean, the East Coast got everything last in distribution, but Hawaii really, really gets it like the last, like for the US. And I was like, crap, this sucks. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
pre-order everything online and make sure I get it for sure.
yeah, you got to pre-order, or you might never get it. Yeah, it sucks being a collector here in Hawaii.
Yeah, so I've seen so far, but I will say that the Facebook Marketplace here compared to where I was before is like infinitely better. There's like always
Oh yeah,
Star Wars stuff. There's always like nerdy stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is totally worth it.
yeah, yeah. That's it. That's a good thing. Yeah. But most of the time, it's somebody doing what you do, waiting at a target outside, and then flipping it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'll totally do that too the next time there's like a release here that like I really, really want because I'm right in IAS, so I'm right next to the Target here. It's probably like a 5 minute drive away, so it's an easy hop and a skip away from their front door just to stand there to be like, so y'all getting the figures today? Or
Nice. Yeah, I've really slowed down collecting the Black Series figures. I've been concentrating
yeah.
on the Hot Toys.
See, I have seen a lot of Black Series people switch over to Hot Toys eventually too, just because they like the quality of it a lot more. And I mean, for the $300 you're spending for a figure, I hope it's better quality, but they're
It's
just
yeah,
really cool.
they're really cool. My most recent one is that Obi-Wan over there next to the Anakin on the stab speeder. That one is nice. Would you like to see it?
Oh, oh yeah, for sure. If you're okay with grabbing that.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab it because I really really like this figure. It's it's got it's got this new light up lightsaber thing. It's not on it right now, but there's like a cord that sticks out of the lightsaber, and a lot of people have
hmm
complained about it. It's like I don't want this weird looking cord sticking out of his arm, but I actually stick it underneath all the armor. You can actually fit the wire from his wrist, and
Oh, that's
it'll
really
feed it all
smart.
the way through, yeah, and all the way down, and then it connects to the base, and it connects through USB. Yeah, there's the guy. Hello there.
Sweet. That's so cool. See, I was also on the train of people, I don't know if you were too, that were trying to get the Mandalorian Super Commando version of Obi-Wan. That was like the
Yeah.
limited Hot Toys release like a month or two ago.
Yeah, I was, but yeah, I wouldn't even display it as Obi Wan. It would just be another Mando.
Yeah, the design is so dang cool, but yeah, I was almost in the queue actually get that Umbra Arc Trooper that they did. And as soon as it finally loaded me in, it was like, and it's sold out. And I was like, no. I was so upset because it looks so cool.
That was me for the artisan Anakin with the rooted hair.
Hmm.
Yeah.
My brother actually got that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, keep that one. That one's a keeper. That one, that'll definitely be worth something down the line.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I don't know what your opinions are like the rooted hair idea that they're trying to do, but there's a lot of people in the community that we knew that were like, you're going to need to get a comb for that one just to make sure its hair looks nice all the time. I wouldn't buy a figure with rooted hair ever, kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, but unless you have it pointed at a fan all day, I don't think it'll be an issue.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it look he was super, super happy to get that. He's like the biggest Anakin fan. I wish he was totally supposed to join this originally, but he is just getting off work actually at Disney. So he's on the East Coast, so he couldn't convert for the time for right now.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's 6 hours
such is
ahead.
life.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
totally understandable. But yeah, that's cool. He works at Disney. My girlfriend actually works at Aulani too, or she's a cast
Oh,
member also. She works at Aulani.
sweet. Is that the just because I'm not familiar with that, is that the Disney resort that they have here on the island or
Yep, yep, that's the one.
oh nice.
The
What
Disney
is it?
Hotel.
Is it just a hotel?
It's like a Hawaiian themed hotel. They actually today is their anniversary, their 13th anniversary,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah. So my girlfriend was telling me about their special lunch that they got. They all got special lunches, and then the special drink for the anniversary, and yeah. So it's a Hawaiian themed Disney hotel, and um, I've never been to the Polynesian in Florida, but it's like I think it's more of an authentic Hawaiian hotel than that one is.
Yeah, I think it is, and I only say that too just because my other really good friend Matt or Catalyst Creations, to people who check out our show. He was just on our latest episode. I have a chat, but he works at the Polynesian one in Florida because he was telling me about like all the different like stuff that they have to say for it, and he was kind of just running over just like general like cast and like mannerisms and such, just because he is an actual like employee, but my brother's doing the Disney college program right now because he majors in
Nice.
film. So he got to go down, and lo and behold, they matched film with parking. So he works parking right outside of Hollywood Studios, and it is kind of convenient for him though because he can finish work, throw on a different pair of clothes, and just go into Galaxy's Edge for free any day of the week. So he's got that on
Must
me
be
right
nice.
now. Oh, it looks so
Must be
nice.
nice.
Like he's going to like basically an empty environment. Like the Millennium Falcon is like barren, so he can take photos in front of it
Wow.
without anybody else. And I'm like, come on, dude.
Wow. Man. Wow. Living the life.
Dude, I will say he is living the life. The mouse is holding him at slave wages, but that's Disney for us. So I mean, there's a fair trade-off. He gets cruddy
Yeah.
pay, but he gets to see the Millennium Falcon every day. So I kind of call that a win-win for him at least.
Yeah, unfortunately, but cast members they do get a lot of really great benefits. I mean, besides free entry
Yeah.
to the parks, you get they get really good um, support for cast members, like medical, dental, all that stuff. And my
Hmm.
girlfriend is really grateful to be employed by the Disney company, and because her last job, it it really didn't give her that many benefits, and it wasn't great pay. So yeah, so
Yeah.
her working at Olani actually makes it possible for her to still live here.
Nice, nice. But I mean, no, I mean, that certainly is the other side of it, though. A company so influential can have all these great benefits for employees, which is really good. And I mean, my brother also gets a very generous discount that I've begged him to use several times on Star Wars related items for me to ship right here in the one, it's in my closet. I won't grab it. But at my job, I have to wear just like Aloha shirts every day. So he got me the Ashley Eckstein collection. That's like the script from Star Wars Rebels, where it has like the I am no Jedi on it. And
Nice.
surprisingly enough, the first day I wore it, my regional manager came in and she was like, "Oh my gosh, Star Wars, that's just so much fun." And I was like, "Good to know I got good bosses."
Awesome, awesome. That's good to know. Yeah,
Yeah.
my job. Yeah, they definitely give me a lot of freedom to wear all my Star Wars swag.
Nice. People at work kind of exclusively know me as the guy who's always wearing something Star Wars related, kind of a thing.
Same, same.
Hey, but nothing wrong with that. It's so cool. I just got to show it off to everyone. Everyone's got to know how great it is. But I was actually just looking through here really quick. So kind of just roping back to just some more like 501st related things as well. But the Pacific Outpost, obviously, as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, will be there at the Comic Con Honolulu. But besides Comic Con Honolulu, what kind of other events does the Outpost do on, because I know a majority of the membership is on Oahu, but we do things on the other islands as well, from what I've seen.
Yes, we do. I believe it was this year that we were able to go to Kauai Comic Con. That's Kauai, the island, not Kauai as in Japanese word for cute. That's a different
Yes,
convention.
I made that mistake because I talked to someone about that and definitely thought it was an anime convention that I didn't go to. And then they told
Yep.
me it was on a whole other island, and I went, oh no.
Yeah, but that was really great, and they ever since they started, they've been trying to get us to appear, and unfortunately, because it's a different island, and none of our members are over
Hmm.
there, it makes it hard. But this year was different. We were able to make it. A couple of us, or yeah, a few of us were able to make it, and that was really fun. And then
Nice.
yeah, and we also do Maui Comic Con. which is in December, I believe. Yeah, we have luckily we have members on Maui, and they've been holding on the fort over there. And yeah, so but besides Comic Cons, we also do some charity walks. We've been to the American Heart Association's um, yeah, charity walk. We've been one for cystic fibrosis. That one was
Nice.
really fun. And there's another one we do called Cop on Top. That one's for to benefit the Special Olympics.
Oh, that's awesome. I did not know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
sweet. Because
and one more that we do every year is in Mililani Holiday Lights. It always starts the first weekend of after Thanksgiving, and it runs all the way to Christmas. Every weekend we show up at a cul-de-sac in Mililani. Um, the whole street is decorated with Christmas lights, and we're always there, and everyone expects this the Star Wars spectacular over there, and that one's so much fun. So many kids come, and it's just a blast.
that's awesome. You said that was at the cul-de-sac in Mililani?
Yeah, at a cul-de-sac, one of our members hosts the event. She
Oh,
they live on that
okay.
in that cul-de-sac. Yeah, but yeah, Mililani
Gotcha.
Holiday Lights.
Holiday lights. Okay, I am actually going to have to look that up after we're done recording for this too, just because I was, well, I still kind of currently am, but for audience members, you would see that I'm back in this room and not in the other place because I was right next to Schofield and Milani dog sitting for some people. But as of recording today, we just kind of moved back just so we can go back and forth to take care of the dogs. But I'll have to see where that is in relation to it at least, just because maybe I can convince those people to store my crate where their place is so that I'm not lugging it around too much. But we'll see, we'll see. But no, love to see that the group is really active too. My brother-in-law is actually a part of, I don't know if you've heard of Console. It's a video game band and they
Oh
usually
yeah.
appear at stuff. He's the violinist in it, but he was at KawaiiCon and he told me he saw Legion folk there because he was like,
Oh yeah.
"Oh, why didn't you end up going?" And I was like, "Dude, I work and I couldn't fly to the other island." And no, at the time actually my suit didn't arrive here yet, so it wasn't even possible.
That's cool. These are the band. I've heard of them before.
Yeah, shameless plug for the band. Obviously, if nobody's heard it, they're on Spotify. I've listened to a bit of their music, and I'm not next to something because he has a lot of like business cards and promo like stickers and stuff. Usually around because my wife and I both live with him right now because he had an extra room for us to stay in. So very grateful for that, at least, and it allows us to be able to be here just because we're stationed at the moment. So we'll be here for quite some time.
Nice.
But dang, knowing that Legion members end up going to Kauai and Maui so much, maybe I should make another costume that's easy to transport around in like a suitcase. That would
Yeah,
probably be ideal.
like an officer maybe.
See, I don't know if are you familiar with who and this might just be a long shot, but like Bob Barker at all?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I actually met him at Steel City Con, and it was when I
Yeah.
was waiting for my 5C to be approved. Shout out to him, he was really awesome. Chatting, get to meet him. He did the same propaganda to me. He said, "You're an officer in the army, so you should have an officer costume too." And I was like, "Please, bro, I'm just waiting for this one to get approved." He was like,
Well,
"You could
you know
totally do the
why?
officer thing."
You know why he did that is because he's the detachment leader for the IOC, or he was at probably at that point.
Oh, see, I
Yes.
didn't know that. He was the detachment
Mhm.
lead for them. Okay,
Yeah.
that
Yep.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. But yeah, he's a really nice guy and really great to be around. I met him at Anaheim Star Wars Celebration, and we were there for the photo shoot. I got to hang out with him. Before Celebration, actually, we did a meetup at Scum and Villainy Cantina, and we were
Mm.
inducting some honorary members in the cantina, and one of them happened to be Katie O'Brien, who played
Oh
the
wow,
communications officer. Yeah, and I got to meet them. That was really fun.
that's pretty
That was really
sweet.
cool.
Now, see, again, you're not the first person that has tried to get me on this. And that was, we were both standing in line for Natasha Libordiaz to get her signature. And he looked at me, he was like, oh, like, are you in the 501st? And I was like, I'm trying and I'm almost there. And then we got in a whole conversation because she had not been at our booth yet. And so we were all standing around for an hour waiting for her to show up. But yep, same propaganda. He was like, you need to join the officer corps. And here's all these pictures too of us doing officer events and such and such. And I was like, it's cool, it's cool. But I don't know. See, for me at least, clones have always been like the coolest thing ever. But I did just see that the CRL was updated so that you can do like clone officers. And I was like, crap, that's kind of cool. So maybe I
Yep.
have an excuse to stay in the Republic at least and not branch out to the Empire.
Yep. Yep. That was actually my first CRL that I published, and
Oh,
I was working.
awesome.
Yeah, I was working with the IOC, the new staff, Kala Zahn and Gemma Billings. That yeah, that was really eye-opening experience for the process, and it's very detailed, it's very meticulous and tedious, but yeah, I'm happy that we finally got it out because that's another costume that I would like to get. I just don't know how.
See, that would be perfect too. And I am still glad that there are a lot of people out there chasing characters that haven't been done yet and trying to get it added to their roster. Because, I mean, for me at least, that's not what I ever expected to be like in a CRL roster, just because I know for some characters, there typically is like a likeness factor to it. So I didn't know if that would disqualify most people because they didn't have the likeness for it. But the CRL I thought looked perfect. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
There's not much of a likeness, except for maybe the face characters like Grand Moff
Yeah.
Tarkin, Director
Hmm.
Krennic, so to speak, and
That makes
but
sense.
yeah, the the 501st judges the costume, not the costumer. So yeah,
Okay, and that's fair.
whatever body type you are and skin color, it doesn't matter. Sometimes there's if the character will call for clean shaven or something, a certain hair color that might uh, be a factor. But other than that, yeah, that's one of the things that makes the 501st really inclusive.
No, I mean that's really good to hear too, though. But crap, I was just thinking because it was a huge meme on our podcast when Andor came out and we were reviewing it that a lot of people were complaining that I looked like Cyril and so that I should cosplay him in some way. So I'm like, crap, maybe that's how I get into this is I just do Cyril. And that was definitely my like attitude and how I acted at like the beginning of college. Like when I joined like ROTC, I was very much like that, like to the rules, to the standard kind of guy, and people thought I was annoying for it, and I absolutely was annoying for it, and I deserve every bit of hate for that. But I grew out of it, and I'm happy I grew out of it. But people always bring that up on me and be like, "You remember when you acted like that? That was definitely like how Cyril acted in Andor." And I'm like, "Please do not bring that back up."
That's so funny. But yeah, the serial actually we haven't seen it. Um, any possibilities or anybody wanting to make it. So maybe you could be the CRL, the the the,
See,
the CRL for Cyril.
that's true. And you see, the only thing that would stop me at this point from doing it is that his uniform does look cool in Andor, but I'm still very minorly convinced that in the second season of Andor that we get, that he'll join the Imperial Navy and he'll have an Imperial uniform. And I think that would be cool then to do. But until then, maybe I should hold off. No, but I don't know. Everyone's because now you and Bob really want me to be officers. Noah really wants me to be a shore trooper, but he's also trying to get me to do like the what is it, the Daft Punk and the Dead Mountain Five suits that they do sometimes just as like a meme. But I don't listen to those people enough for it to be like worth it too. So I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But here's just checking what I had. Actually, here might be this might have also been a good one to maybe send you ahead of time too. But I was also just gonna say that if you had maybe any like special like Pacific Outpost like lore for the group or like important like milestones that the group achieved, like maybe they were involved in filming parts of the Mandalorian because I know members of the California garrison were called up to do that, or if our like outpost had been involved with like something bigger, whether it was like with Disney or like another organization.
Oh, okay. So, well, unfortunately, none of our members were invited to film for the Mandalorian. The distance probably was a factor, but
Yeah,
I
that
do
would
know
make
a
sense.
lot of people that were there. But as far as our members, we were able to be at the red carpet, or one of our members was able to go to the red carpet for the Rise of Skywalker, and they
Ooh,
wanted
that's
characters. Yeah, they wanted characters from every era of Star Wars. So they had slots for a snow trooper, which our member just so happened to have, and he fit the bill. He was able to go, so he was there on the red carpet, which is really cool.
yeah, no, that's exciting.
And then,
That would be tough too to see to be at like a red carpet event.
yeah, definitely, that would have been really cool to go. And I actually got to troop the Hollywood Christmas Parade last year with the Southern California Garrison. Um, that was a 4 mile parade in my officer boots. I did surprisingly
Ooh.
well. I would say, yeah, it's surprisingly well with those boots, walking for 4 miles.
Yeah. Yeah, I was definitely gonna say I've never heard of doing like long like march events like that, but I could imagine for some characters who have like shoes that aren't really uh antiquated to like going long distance, we're probably like suffering through that.
Oh yeah, um, that was definitely a factor. A lot of the armored members, they started getting getting armor malfunctions, and pieces started falling off. But that's why we got to have a lot of a big a big support for handlers. A lot of you need a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
handlers for an event like that, so that they can uh, you know, sort of crowd control, but also helping out the members that are trooping. And sometimes they just got to dip out and be like, I'm good. See ya. And that's totally fine, because you don't want to push yourself for, if you can't do it. Health definitely needs to come first.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I was gonna say at the because some of our members just did that photo shoot at the Marine Corps base. Thankfully, the gentleman helping photographer, well, take our photos and whatnot, was very acquainted to like you have limitations in suits. So like he would have us just like do a few photos and then like jump out really quick to like eat or like take a drink. And he's like, guys, you do not want to pass out in your suits. I have seen it happen before, and you do not want to be unconscious and have a person rip you out of your suit because it will be a bad day. And I was like, wow, that puts that into perspective because I never thought of that before.
Yeah. Oh, that also brings to mind one more event that the Pacific Outpost got to participate in.
Yeah.
It was and it's actually really significant to me, so I don't know why I forgot about it. It was in 2007 for the Rose Bowl parade in Pasadena. That's the Rose Bowl parade where George Lucas was the Grand Marshal, and he invited
Oh,
the 501st 200 stormtroopers to go march with him for the Rose Bowl, and he wanted members from every country that the 501st was in, and
Heck yeah.
from all 50 states. So two of our members got to go. One of them's still a member, Toy Laitila. He used to be a CO in the past, but yeah, if you see him, he was one of those members that got to troop with George Lucas.
That's legendary. That's like, I feel like that would be like peak to happen, especially at that point too. Oh, that's
Mhm.
so,
Yeah,
so cool.
there's a
But that's really
documentary actually on YouTube called Star Warriors, and you, I see him every time I watch it, and it's significant to me because
huh.
when I first watched or when I first saw that on TV, that's actually what inspired me to want to join the 501st.
Interesting. Yeah, see, actually, that's something I'll probably bring up to you as well, was what made you like want to do the 501st and do some of the characters you have done.
Yeah, so so like I said, the Rose Bowl parade, watching it on TV, they introduced the 501st and they told them about the charity aspect and the Star Wars costuming, and that one was really
Mhm.
resonated with me. And I was like, wow, people do that. I want to do that too. And so yeah, and then I eventually became a member, and now I'm CEO. But
Heck yeah,
yeah,
heck yeah.
it's definitely um, sharing my love of Star Wars and um, like making a difference in my community. That's that's definitely um, the number one thing that I love about being a 501st member.
Hmm. No, and that's really awesome too, just because something that I certainly do not regret is that near the end of my time in college, a lot of people that I knew were like, "Oh, I have to go to all of these like networking events because I need to be concerned about knowing X, Y, and Z person and all of these high places if I ever want to go anywhere, if I ever want to do anything." And I always just kind of thought it was lame because it was like a really weird way of just like sucking up to a stranger. But it was at that time where my brother and I had our podcast, and we were like, why do we need to care about like networking with like all these random people in school when like we have a worldwide audience that we know? Like the most recent challenge coin that I had made for my suit that was designed by a very good friend of ours from Croatia, that we met through doing the podcast. And we know people in Croatia and Germany, some members in the UK, and a lot of people here in the United States as well. But it's you can just find Star Wars fans anywhere. I think that's the really, really nice part too about the 501st is that even moving here, I was like, this is going to be a complete new start. I don't know anybody here. Like, it's going to be like super crazy. Like, what am I going to do for my days? And now, like, every other week, I'm like talking to my wife. I'm like, hey, I'm going to go out with these people with the garrison now. And we're just going to talk about Star Wars and things. And it truly has been like a real privilege to be a part of that. So I am very, very thankful for everybody here in this group and that they're so nice.
Yeah, that was definitely something that I learned really quickly. That once you're in the 501st, you're family, and
Hmm.
you'll connect with a complete stranger on a level that you wouldn't anybody else, and it's all because of Star Wars. I mean, I'm just like you. I have friends in Austria and Germany and the UK and Singapore, Japan, China, and all over Australia, even Saudi Arabia. We have 501st members in Saudi
Wow.
Arabia, and one of them's my friend. And yeah, and it's this giant worldwide community, and we all love Star Wars. We love costuming Star Wars, and that's just the best thing in the world.
Oh yeah. I love the group. I hope it stays as big as it is forever so I can keep doing it for as long as I'm alive and maybe even pass it on to other people as well that want to do it. Because my new
Oh yeah,
recruitment is that I want to see if I can convince some soldiers in my unit to also join our outpost and be like, hey, do you like Star Wars? You should dress up for it too and join us.
yes, yes, join us, yes. Yeah, there's a lot of military members in the 501st too, and a lot of them say the same thing, where it's because the system is uh, the system in being a member is really easy to transfer to other units, and
Hmm.
military, you get deployed in one place for a certain amount of years, and then you get orders to go somewhere else, and most of the time there's definitely a 501st there. You can connect with them and you troop with them. So yeah, so there's definitely no shortage of military members, and that's definitely a really cool thing to get to troop with some of our our yeah, our boys in blue.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. But on that note, actually, I didn't have anything else written down to mention, but did you have anything for me before? Just because now, because I have one guest on today, I can do our very, very classic have a chat lightning round of our three questions where you ask a favorite movie, TV show, and character. But did you have anything else to just mention for the good audience watching this today, or even just about our Outpost in general?
Oh yeah, you can if you want to become a member, you could definitely go look up our website, 501st.com, and you click on the membership tab and see how you can join. There's a CRL that's an acronym for Costume Reference Library. You can look through all the costumes you can get approved with, and then yeah, and then you can also search for your local unit. If you're not in Hawaii, it might not be the Pacific Outpost. If you're wherever you are, there might be some 501st members near you, and we're always happy to help new members, and we're very welcoming, and definitely don't be afraid to ask for help, because we really want to help, and we want you to learn from our mistakes. you know, yeah, we've been there. We've done every uh, trick in the book, and we know how to get you approved fast.
Yeah. Yeah, knowing what I do now, I would definitely pass on that knowledge. Well, I am trying to as well because there's two other people that I know of that are trying to do my suit. I'm like, okay, before you guys do this, make sure you're doing it like this and this, so then like you can get like approved faster and easier, and don't make the mistake I did.
Yep, yep.
But all right, Clay, with that, we are going to get into our lightning round of questions really quick. So the first question is going to be, what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
My favorite Star Wars movie is a hard question for me to answer for you. really, really, truthfully, it changes so often. But yeah, my favorite is usually the most recent. I'll just name a couple that I watch often. It's like Rogue
Yeah,
One
why not?
is it. Rogue One's a great one. Yeah,
Good
that's a
choice, good
great
choice.
movie. And then I know a lot of people don't like Attack of the Clones, but that's the one that has Jango Fett in it. So
Django Fat.
there's that.
Okay, all right, all right. And what is your favorite Star Wars TV show?
Star Wars TV show, definitely Ahsoka is way up there. The
Oh,
Ahsoka
absolutely.
TV show was awesome. It was, I mean, yeah, it's just it. Being a Star Wars fan and a fan of the Clone Wars, and then seeing all those characters come to live action, seeing Hayden Christensen come back as Anakin Skywalker, yeah, that was a great show.
Oh yeah, that was elite. All right, and then I know this is also another very difficult question, but if you had to just pick one for the sake of this video, what would be your favorite Star Wars character?
So I already mentioned my love for Jango Fett, so I won't pick him. My
Okay.
my my next favorite would be it might be kind of a cop out, but it's Darth Vader.
Hey, that's
The
not a cop out.
the
That's
the
fine.
arc the arc for Vader. I grew up on the original trilogy. Darth Vader's arc from A New Hope all the way to Return of the Jedi. That really it really gets to me, and that that death scene on the ramp for the on the in the Lambda shuttle while the Death Stars blowing up around them. Um, uh, yeah, Darth Vader asks Luke to take his helmet off so he can see his son for with his own eyes. That really just gets me every time. Every time.
Nice, nice. I mean, no, that's why I feel like of the three original trilogies, Return of the Jedi does numbers any day. I know a lot of people say Empire is like the best, but I think Return of the Jedi is infinitely better. But it's personal opinion, maybe a little controversial, but
Maybe, but everyone had. But that's the thing about Star Wars now is that there's Star Wars for everybody, and yeah, I mean,
exactly.
Empire Strikes Back was my favorite too at one point, and my earliest memory of Star Wars is me putting in the VHS cassette into the VHS player the wrong way around. But yeah, it's yeah, that's my earliest memory, and the VHS was Empire Strikes Back. If I didn't mention that earlier.
That's nice. All right, but thank you so much, Kalei, for coming on the show today. And thank you, everybody, if you made it to the end of this video for watching. I will remind you again that if you are in Hawaii and you can attend the Comic-Con Honolulu, make sure that you're checking that out. It's going to be on September 6th, 7th, and 8th. And if you're a Star Wars fan even, there's going to be some Star Wars voice actors and actresses there. That's why I'm going to meet Ayla Secura, who voices Bastila Shan, Ayla Secura. I think I said that and I'm repeating myself, but I'm just going to pretend like I didn't make that mistake, and a lot of other characters too. But I'm not doing an outro this week because I'm about to roll our brand new outro thanks to our great friend Mark Thompson of the show. So thank you all for watching, and we hope to see you again next week. See ya.
Aloha.
Hello there. This is Mark Thompson. I narrate a bunch of the Star Wars audiobooks, and I just want to make sure that you subscribe to the 1313 podcast on YouTube and join their Discord to talk about some awesome Star Wars people. Follow them on social media and be sure to support them on Patreon and become a channel member for only $1 a month. Also, you can buy awesome merch if you want to look as cool as them. It is not an exaggeration to say this podcast is a work of art. Punch it, Chewie. Do or do not subscribe. There is no try. You're gonna love the 1313 podcast. There's a boom boom. If you don't subscribe, we're doomed. Do or do not subscribe. There is no try.